Well, hello, everybody. My name is Teacher Todd, and this is my first live stream on YouTube. I've done live streams elsewhere, but this is my first on YouTube. I'm not new to YouTube, just new to live streaming. So I am here because my channel, this particular channel, has to do with teaching English as a second language, and specifically teaching English as a second language online. And I have a number of friends that do this. I've been in this particular industry for over 5 years now. I've taught at least 10,000 something classes, probably quite a bit more than that now. So, and I'm going to put a backup pair of glasses on because my glasses are actually need to be repaired. I actually need a new pair of glasses, but I haven't had time. And these glasses do not hardly stay on. So, and sometimes I wear my funky glasses in class anyway. So we'll just go ahead and just go with it. So anyway, I am Teacher Todd, and this is my channel. On this channel, I will be. I've had this channel for a while, but in the past, I just did like little snippets here and there, little commentaries. I'm going to be using this more often for in the future, particularly this summer, but going forward as well. I think into the hopefully into the next year for tips on teaching ESL, maybe some classroom experience stories. And today, to kind of launch this, I want to talk about some of my classes that I teach right now. But before I do anything else, I want to talk about some group classes that I have coming up. And if you don't want to pay my usual fee for my one on one instruction, it's not terribly expensive, but I know in this day and age, with inflation being pretty global, people want to save money. So you can put your child in my English class with in one of my group classes that's coming up in July. I have three that I'm planning to do in July. Okay, and then maybe in August, if the demand is good, I will maybe expand that to more classes in August. Uh, but in July, on the I believe it's the 6th, the 13th, and the 20th, and it will be 7 in the morning America time, I believe. 7 in the morning America time. That's 3 Thursdays. Um, if you happen to see this and you're one of my prospective students who lives in Taiwan, mainland China, someplace like that, it will be 7 p.m. In those locations, Hong Kong, places like that. I have a number of students in Korea. Korea is one you would add one more hour, so it would be 8 p.m. Korea time if you want to attend one of my group classes. I have three classes that will become coming up in July. Um, that will have my goal is a minimum of three students, maximum of six students. Okay, so the more students are in the class, the more that cost will be shared per student, which means you can get English instruction for your child at a pretty low cost. Now, your child will be sharing that forum, which is Zoom, okay, with some other students, but they'll still get included. They'll get some instruction. They'll get some practice with English, and I will have one class on. I'm doing these are going to be science oriented classes because my hobby is reptiles, and so I've off and on I have incorporated reptiles into my classes for years now. But this will be the first time I'm doing classes where I'm teaching English completely in a context of talking about reptiles. So the first one will be snakes. I will be doing a class on snakes. By the way, this is um, if you can see this, let's see here. Just looking down, see who we got coming on here. I did make an announcement a couple different places that I will be live. So let's see here. Okay, I don't know how many we have yet, but anyway, but we do have this beautiful garter snake here. This is an eastern garter snake, Thamnosus sertalis sertalis. For those of you that like to geek out on the scientific names, so this is a beautiful specimen, basically right out of my backyard, just down a little past my backyard. So I'm showing him this summer, and then he will be returned. He will be returned right back to where he came from, unharmed, etc. I'll feed him night crawlers and so forth during the course of the summer. I may not even keep him the entire summer. I might just keep him for a few weeks. But he is very, very placid, as you can see. And garter snakes are not always all that terribly placid. Those of you that have some experience with snakes know that garter snakes can be a little bit bitey, but this one's very, very placid. Nice size specimen. Uh, this looks to me like it's probably a male. So, but anyway, really nice. I really like this guy a lot. I've had him out a few times. I think I've showed him to a few students and really have enjoyed interacting with him. So, I'll be doing a class on snakes. So basically, we'll just be learning English and learning, talking in English. Probably these classes, these group classes, might be suited, a little bit better for um, students that are already speaking some English with confidence. But anybody is welcome. Any student of any age or level is totally welcome. Okay, but we'll be practicing. How do you talk about snakes? Like, wow, I saw a snake the other day, teacher. Oh, really? Where did you see the snake? Yeah. And that kind of thing. So we may be looking at some snakes on the internet. Um, and he's gonna crawl up. I'm just gonna let him come in here just like there we go. Okay. I don't want to go on too long, so I'm kind of watching my clock a little bit. Um, but snakes are reptiles. They are probably the most widely feared reptile, although there's really no need for people to fear them. Uh, I mean, you say, well, there's venomous snakes out there. Yeah, there's venomous snakes, and there's also dogs that bite people, and there's other animals that potentially could hurt somebody, but people don't generally live in mortal fear of them for the most part. I think the fear of snakes is just out of proportion to everything else. People are more afraid of snakes, it seems, than just about anything. I mean, how many people, would say, they post a picture of a yellow jacket on their Facebook page and say, "Oh no, we're selling our house." People make comments like that, or they'll say, "Burn it down." If you post a picture of a snake or a spider, but if you post a picture of a yellow jacket, people just be like, "Oh, that's neat." But what do you think is most likely to attack you? This snake or a nest of yellow jackets? What do you think is going to hurt more if it bites you? This, or I can tell you I've been bitten. Yellow jackets can sting and bite, and I can tell you it is a miserable experience. And even if the snake were to bite you, he's not going to call 500 of his friends to come after you like yellow jackets do. So the fear of snakes is disproportionate to everything else. I mean, even venomous snakes are really, really. It's an old cliche, but it's true. They're more afraid of you than you are of them. They really are. Uh, so this is one of the animals, one of the reptiles that will be featured in my July classes. So let's say you happen to see my live stream either in the next few minutes, before I wrap up. I'll wrap up probably in the next 15, well, maybe 10 minutes. And maybe you see this and you happen to be watching from uh, Taiwan or Beijing or wherever, And, there's a lot of people in China, Taiwan, places that can speak English quite well. So maybe you hear me talking about, uh, showing this snake and talking about ESL, and you're like, I'm curious. So what do you do? Well, I help students generally one on one. The group classes will be a new thing that I'm offering, but generally, I teach students one on one using a wide variety of curricula. And some of my students don't even really need a textbook or anything like that. They don't need me to do a PowerPoint. They just want to talk, and we might look at Google photos of restaurants or destination sites, or animals, and just talk about them for 25 minutes or so. But the group classes, I said, will be reptile oriented. Okay. And I might offer some other different kinds of classes after I do some of these, but I thought this might be a fun place to start. The group classes will be 50 minutes. So, uh, even if your child is only 4 or 5 years old, I think being in a Zoom room with some other students, I think, and then you throw in some reptiles, I think their interests will be fairly high. So, and I think I can keep the child's attention quite well. So, don't worry about that. Don't worry about whether or not your child's attention span will wane. I mean, even if it does a little bit, so what, right? One of the other reptiles, and I wanted to show you all a gecko. I've got several geckos, but my geckos are not wanting to cooperate. They are hiding in their giant hide, and I was able to get one of them out, but he was just not wanting to be cooperative at all. He was just wild. And so, anyway, um, so I'm not going to show geckos in this video, maybe the next one. Okay. So sorry about that. I'll have to do that when I'm a little bit more prepared. But one of the other reptiles you can see right here. Okay. This is a snapping turtle. You can see this is a baby snapping turtle, a little, we might call it a neonate. And I'll show this little guy to you. He's very, very active. He was sluggish earlier. Now he's very, very active. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh my! He's not wanting me to hold on to him. All right, let me try to reposition myself a little bit here. Okay, they are very, very strong. Very strong. Okay, so this is a little baby snapper turtle. I'm gonna try not to drip pond water because I put him in a little container with pond water. That's what you were seeing. Um, He actually lives in my outdoor pond. It's not a gigantic pond. It's a like an ornamental pond, but it's big. And he lives there with a bunch of his little friends, some of his other turtle friends, and they have lots and lots of room to swim around. I mean, it's almost like the fountains you used to see at the mall when you were a kid. It's almost that in terms of the size, and they are very well fed. It's a self-sustaining pond, really, because they eat bugs that fall in there, and there's lots of fish that reproduce that I've got in there. So it's a self-sustaining little ecosystem. But in one of the classes, we'll be talking about um, turtles. Okay, so aquatic turtles, maybe land turtles, what we sometimes call tortoises, um, and that kind of thing too. So we might be getting into that. So basically, three different kinds of reptiles. Okay, snakes will be one of the classes. I think the snakes are the third class, probably on the 20th of July. Uh, I think the turtles are the second class, maybe, which would be the 13th of July. And the lizards, I think, are the first, which is the 6th. So now, what I will do if these classes are successful, I might either create new content and do more of them for the students that already attended, or I might just redo the same classes for new students. We'll just have to see how it goes. Okay, so however it goes, so we'll just see if the what the interest is and so forth, and then go from there. But basically, I just want to reach out to this channel will be both a community for teachers because I'm going to be doing some ESL tips. I'm definitely not the best ESL teacher out there on the horizon, but I do have about 6 years of experience of doing this and doing a lot of it. So there's people way, way smarter than me in this business, but I've got a lot of experience with doing it day to day, teaching students from Beijing and Taipei and Seoul, South Korea. And yes, I do have some students in America as well who either came from another country. And I actually had one student who was American born, but he was just struggling with English. And so he took, even though it's an ESL class, he took my class for a while and I think benefited some. Um, so this will be like something for teachers. I'll share some tips, talk about classroom experiences and that kind of thing. So I'll be doing some live streams on that throughout the summer. But I'll also be using this to promote to those of you who may be watching who happen to see this channel from another country, which is would be really awesome. And then you want to take my classes. So if you want to take my classes, I didn't mention this, but I will put a link down after this video has concluded. If I can figure out how to do this, it's my first YouTube live video. Um, that will link you to my profile. I teach most of my uh, classes are on Amazing Talker, so I will be putting a link down for Amazing Talker, and you can contact me there and schedule accordingly. Again, if you take a group class, you can take a single. That's fine. One on one. That's fine. I'd love to have you. But if you want to save some cost, join one of the group classes coming up in July, and you can cut your costs way, way down. So it's a win-win because the teacher gets to do something different, a group class, and the students get cost savings, and the students get to interact with other students and so forth. So I want it to be a lot of fun for the students, and but I think it'll also be fun for me as the teacher as well. So anyway, all right. So this is Mr. Garter Snake right here, and he will probably be in some of my classes. And then Mr. Snapping Turtle and some of his friends, and the geckos that I didn't get to show because they just did not want to cooperate. And I had to hurry up because I was scheduled for 4:15. I decided to schedule for 4:15. I thought, oh, I don't have my geckos. I'd forgotten to get my geckos together. So, all right. So that's what we'll be doing. Again, July the 6th, July 13th, July the 20th, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm sorry, 7 p.m. if you live in say Beijing, Shanghai, okay, Guangzhou, whatever, Taipei, Taiyuan, um, and or Hong Kong, and 8 p.m. if you live in say Seoul, someplace like that, South Korea. So if you happen to see this video after I post it and you're interested, please, why, first of all, watch the video archived, okay? And then there should be a description for my classes or a link. I should say a link for my description, a link for my classes that I'm going to try to put uh, down for everybody to see. So, all right, that's what we'll be doing. All right, I've been running about, we're closing in on 20 minutes here in just a little bit. So that's probably long enough for the inaugural, yeah, the inaugural um, uh, Teacher Todd live YouTube. Okay. So I'll be doing more of these in the days to come. I don't know. I may even do one tomorrow for that matter. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. Just a matter of how much time I have because I stay pretty busy with teaching. So now this guy, he really is quite, he's moving around some, but you can see he's not getting nervous. He's not freaking out. Sometimes snakes just start to freak out and they want to get out of your hands, and they might use the bathroom or whatever, or nip a little bit to get you to release them. But he's very calm. Okay, so uh, he's only been with me a few days, and as I said earlier in the video, I'll be releasing him back to his exact location, exact home, which is 500 feet from my back door. It's not very far at all. uh, After he does some classes, that's all. He's going to do some classes for me. All right, and then I'll let him go on back, and then I might replace him with one of the other native snakes to show in class for a little while. I don't sell native snakes, just to be clear on that. This is just for instruction and education, so that people will come to love snakes, maybe, and then they might not be so prone to wanting to kill them or whatever. So, all right, and then they'll just be released at either sometime during the course of the summer or at the end of the summer. Long before it gets the weather gets cool or anything like that. So, all right, so we'll say goodbye to this guy, and we'll say goodbye to our live stream because I'm going to wrap this up, you guys. What are we at? We're at 1911. All right, we'll end right at 20 minutes. How about make it an exact 20 minutes? Uh, so again, invite your friends, if you have teacher friends and you're a teacher, tell them about this. If you have students that you can't teach but you think might be interested in my classes, direct them over. They can watch one of my live feeds and get an idea of what my personality is like, which is really laid back in class. I'm just looking at the clock here. All right. And they can come and see live animals too. So, all right. All right. Fantastic. So, All right. Glad to be with any. If some of you may watch this after the fact, thank you if you do. Thank you if you joined this stream. Much appreciated. And I will see you next time. Thank you. Have a great weekend, everyone. Thank you.